Mark, I assume you're with us, so welcome to the November 10th, 2020.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now we'll start. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Housing Authority, November 10th, 2020 Shrewsbury Housing Authority meeting. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. All meetings and hearings listed in the agenda will also be done so through remote participation. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Shrewsbury Housing Authority website at https://shrewsburyha.org. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen or watch the meeting may do so by visiting global.global.join/265569877. To participate in any public comment portion of the meeting, Kelly, we don't have any public comment
We do not.
expected in this meeting. Okay, so I'm going to skip over that.
Get that.
I would ask everybody to, as a preliminary matter, identify each of us. In this particular case, I'll introduce myself as the chair, Richard Ricker, and do we have Paul Campanello with us?
Paul Campanello, present.
And we have Kathy McSweeney with us.
Present.
And we have Gail Vigent with us.
Present.
And we have Bruce Pardee with us.
Present.
And as far as staff goes, we have Kelly Bergeron.
Present.
Okay, so are there any anticipated speakers on the agenda other than the members of the board and yourself?
No.
Okay, so good afternoon. I think we can start the meeting.
Mr. Chair, if you're starting the meeting, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as printed for the October 2020 board meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor, we'll do this by roll call vote as we have to in these remote meetings. Mr. Campanello.
Paul Campanello, aye.
Kathy McSweeney.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Gail Vigent.
Gail Vigent, aye.
Bruce Pardee.
Bruce Pardee, aye.
And Richard Ricker, aye. So therefore it's unanimous. Do we have any motions that anybody would like to make at this time?
Mr. Ricker, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we take old business out of order. It's about 2/3 of the way through the agenda, and we do it now, please.
We have a
Second.
motion. We have a motion and a second. And again, by roll call vote, Paul Campanello.
Paul Campanello, aye.
Kathy McSweeney.
Aye.
Gail Vigent.
Aye.
Bruce Pardee.
Aye.
And Richard Ricker, aye. So the old business that we're taking out of order is the business of reorganization. Is that correct?
It is. In May, Mr. Chair, if I please the board and the committee, we deferred a reorganization, which we do every May of our executive board, of our board of commissioners, given that we had just gone remote and we wanted to push it to later in the year before the end of the year. And before we get to the end of the year, I think if the board agrees, and I think we probably need a motion on this, to reorganize in this November meeting before year end. And it's a deferral of the decision we made at the May 2020 meeting.
Okay. Does anybody have any further discussion on that?
No.
Okay, so do you think we need another vote to go into
I
reorganization?
don't think we do, because we would have organized in May and we're just deferring it. We need a vote for the specific organizations. So if you want, I will make a motion.
All right, so we're in a, you're gonna make a motion that we go into special meeting for the purpose.
I think it's called annual meeting. That's what I think it's called. Right,
Yeah.
Kelly? I
Yes.
make a motion that as part of the old business motion, we now enter into our deferred annual meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll
That
do
will need a vote.
a roll call vote. Paul Campanello,
Paul Campanello, aye.
Kathy McSweeney,
Aye.
Dale Vigil,
Aye.
Bruce Pardee,
Aye.
and Richard Ricker votes aye. So that's unanimous. So with that, Kelly Bergeron as the executive director will take over.
Okay. Ms. Bergeron, I would like to make a motion that we reorganize, and we start that reorganization by making Kathy McSweeney chair.
Second.
I'm sorry, can we just start this? Because I believe I have to say looking for seeking nominations for chair in,
Go ahead. All right, so is that it? All right,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't realize.
That's
So
o-
in response to your seeking nominations for chair, I would nominate Kathy McSweeney for chair, please.
Second.
any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Paul Campanello, aye.
Richard Ricker, aye.
Gail Vigent, aye.
Kathy
Bruce
McSweeney.
Pardee, aye.
No, sorry, Bruce.
It's all right.
Kathy?
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Motion carried. Kathy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do I have a nomination for vice chair?
I would like to make a nomination for Richard Ricker to become vice chair.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Paul Campanello, aye.
Gail Vigent, aye.
Bruce?
Bruce, aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Richard?
Richard Ricker, aye.
Motion carried. Do I have a nomination for treasurer?
I make a
Mr.
motion. I make a motion that we appoint Paul Campanello as treasurer.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Richard Ricker,
Gail Vigent, aye.
Bruce Pardee, aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Paul Campanello, aye.
Motion carried. Do I have nominations for secretary?
I would like to make a motion, oh,
I'll make a motion, we appoint Gail Vigent as the secretary.
Second.
second,
Any discussions? All those in favor? Richard?
Richard Ricker, aye.
Bruce?
Campanello,
Pardee,
aye.
aye.
Kathy?
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Gail Vigent, aye.
Motion carried.
I make a motion that we adjourn the annual meeting.
Second.
Ms. McSweeney, you have the control at this point, and
Excellent.
congratulations.
I'll vote aye.
All right, well then moving forward, as we're continuing with our meeting, we've already,
Kathy,
yes.
we need to vote to go out of the annual meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Do I need a motion?
I already made it and was seconded, so I vote aye.
Okay.
Paul
Paul Camp-
Campanello, aye.
Gail Vigent, aye.
Bruce Pardee, aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Now it's a move. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And feel free to butt in with any other corrections we need to make, being my first meeting. I will, at this point, take a motion. Actually, let me scroll ahead here. Our next topic is the account balances. Any questions or comments on those?
Healthy.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay. And then moving on to our Section 8 operating statement. Questions or comments on that?
Looks good. Everything's really, we're, what, 6 months into the year? I mean, when's year end, Kelly? March?
3/31.
So January, February, March, November. So we're 8-ish, 9-ish months into the year and everything is positive. I'm looking at the bottom line, the 1290, 645 line. It's very good. I think we've all seen in the past where sometimes at this point, we maybe hit a dip or an inflection point and we always know that it'll come back. I mean, even though some of them are very low, like again, the 1290, we're in great shape. I mean, at least by my kind of long math.
We're in no deficits.
Yeah,
As of-
exactly. And we've seen deficits 2 quarters in the past, so.
Yes.
Okay, the discussion that we're going to have during the main meeting here, I think as we go forward, looking at correspondence. So I'm pleased with it as well, but I think we can expect that it will be a different story next year.
Great.
I was. Moving along, the check register, are there any comments or questions on that?
Low. Like really low.
It is.
So
But
there's
we're
been,
4 weeks, right, Kelly? We're 4 full weeks, right?
and we've had no vacancies.
That's interesting.
When there's
Maybe that
vacant,
explains the variances in the previous section.
I have a question about check number 20007. The compaction. I assume that's a compactor of some sort.
what number? I'm sorry, Richard?
Let me see, 20007, McGuire Equipment, Inc.
Yes, that's a new 2-yard container.
It costs that much? Is it an actual machine or is it just the container?
It's the compactor at the towers.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions on the check register?
That was the only question I
No,
had.
if you want, Mr. Sweeney, I'll make a motion.
Yes, I would.
I
Like
will
you,
make a motion to approve the check register as printed in the amount of $42,223.49.
Second,
excellent. Required, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Campanello,
Paul Campanello, aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Richard Ricker, aye.
Ms. Vigil,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
aye,
Kathy McSweeney, aye. Motion carries to pay the check register in the amount of $42,228.49.
Ms. McSweeney, follow-on comment? Given the signings, without going into too much detail, Kelly, I don't know if you've spoken to Ms. McSweeney, but are we going to do kind of what we've been doing in the new COVID model? Is that the plan, Ms. McSweeney? Is that what you're thinking?
Certainly, I'm so used to doing it. I usually leave here, pick up the checks, I sign them, and then I'll get them to you. I probably won't be able to get them to you till tomorrow midday, though. Will
Totally
that-
fine. Just want- Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we pay the portability out check register in the amount of $3,054.92.
Second.
All those in favor, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Campanello,
Paul Campanello, aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Aye.
Ms. Vigil,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
aye,
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
And Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we pay the HAP accounting check register, which is landlords and tenants, in the amount of $131,041.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Campanello,
Aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Aye.
Ms. Vigil,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
aye,
Kathy McSweeney says aye, motion carries.
And Paul, I've been waiting to do this for a couple of years. I'd make a motion that we approve the payroll as printed.
Mr. Ricker, I second that motion.
Any discussion? Then I will do a roll call vote. Mr. Campanello,
Aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Aye.
Ms. Vigent,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney says aye. Ms. Bergeron, I will turn it over to you for an update on the Narrow News, please.
On the narrow news, Governor Baker refiled the fiscal year 2021 budget. Within that budget, it still remains at 72 million. DHCD is expecting a 20% increase in the statewide property insurance, a 4% cut to housing authorities to close the gap on fallen rental income. We've been very lucky, but speaking with other housing authorities, there's tenants that aren't paying their rent. We have at least 95% of our tenants paying their rent. And they're asking for fiscal year 2020 to be level funded. Where that's going to put a lot of housing authorities in jeopardy. They're going to have to use all their reserves. Just with this whole COVID, I mean, with cleaning, with maintenance overtime, vacancies, it's taking up a lot of resources.
Sweeney, can I ask a question?
Yes.
All right. Kelly, in light of this overall situation, have we dipped into our reserves at all yet?
No.
And I note in the President's Corner article in this correspondence that not only are we dealing with the 4% decrease, but we also have other challenges that, the insurance is something that is going to make us, and it's going to put us in a precarious position as far as reserves go. I also see, though, an opportunity if that CHAMP program by Mass Narrow is something that we can take advantage of, and that if you have, I applaud you. I think that it was an interesting thing to read about, and I'm hopeful that the other board members agree with me and that you agree as well, Kelly.
Shirley and myself both took the Zoom meeting. We were very excited. I signed the MCAT agreement. So Mass Narrow is going to, I'm sorry, let me back up one. DHCD is going to pay for all housing authorities for a year to allow Mass Narrow to do our backlog of applications. I'm not sure if it said it in here. Yeah, there's probably about 26,000 backlog of applicants out there.
More than 26,000 individual packets, yes.
Yes. So Mass Narrow is going to do that for us, housing authorities who have agreed. So it will help screening. We will have people already waiting, and you will see during on one of the vacancies for the state, we had somebody all ready to lease up, and that person had an allergy to a building after a certain year was built. So they declined the unit. Now we have to go back to step one and redo. This way we will have a list of applicants already waiting.
Already vetted, right?
Yes.
I think that is a long way towards what we were concerned about, and what we talked to Representative Kane about.
Mhm.
I'm happy that Mass Narrow once again steps up and is helping us out with this, because I see a great savings in this program. So
Yes, it just mailings alone. Some of the mailings could cost up to $3 to $5 a mailing with all the documentations. So yeah, it's gonna help tremendously. We're excited about it.
But that's the only questions I had, Madam Chair.
Any, wanted to bring your attention?
I know I interrupted you, Kelly, so.
That's okay. So with that, I see a lot of next year with the budget coming out, I see a lot of things being downsized. I can't say us because right now we're good, but we don't know how we're gonna be in maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But it's just, it could be gloomy. Let's just put it that way. And that's all with Mass Narrow. We went through the COVID OSHA work guidelines. We have notices up everywhere. All my employees know to wear masks. They have their cleaning supplies. We're still closed to the public, but we're here if people need us. They just have to call. One of us will come out. We ask that people call or email. Community room's gonna be closed. I don't know when that's going to open. And that's just more what the tenants are concerned about. They want their community room.
Is there, and I'm not trying to stir the pot at all, but is there any way of a half accommodation, a social, like you've seen things open up with social distancing or whatever? I hate to take away something from them that they care so much about. Or are you feeling like that puts you and the staff at risk, or that puts the other residents at risk, or is it there's just no happy medium? I guess I'm looking for a compromise, but maybe there isn't.
There is no happy medium because we're gonna have some tenants who just truly refuse to wear masks. And that's not fair for the 50% who are following. We can only have a capacity, I believe it's 8 people per 1,000 feet. So how do I tell those 20 people, okay, you're in here, but the next 5, you can't come in until they leave? It's a no-win situation right now.
You thought it out. I was just asking the question because I know that they enjoy their community room. I know they do. So.
Sounds like a policing nightmare, though.
It
Yeah,
is
exactly.
a nightmare, and it's just not fair when some people are not gonna comply with the rules.
Then also creates even if you did it, had people, supposedly 6 feet apart, it would just cause a probably more than the right amount of people in the lobby or the hallway, so.
Yes, I mean, the one complaint I keep hearing over and over again is the snack machines, the soda machines. Those are highly touched. I mean, I cannot police that every time somebody goes to get a soda, that myself or the maintenance or one of my staff is there to wash everything down. So we haven't built the snack machines or the soda machines. And that's one complaint I keep hearing.
Well, my office, all the water dispensers are empty. We're not allowed to use those. So that happens at my office. It's probably happening at your offices too. That's happening in corporate America.
Yes. But that's all I have for Arrow News.
Okay. One question on something you said. You said 95% of the tenants are paying rent. Is that in our facility? So that means there's 5% that aren't?
Yes.
Did I hear?
I was gonna ask the same question. I was going to ask the actual number without breaking confidentiality. Do we have 1, 3, 5 tenants not paying rent? I was going to ask the same question.
So we have, I can come straight out and tell you that at the towers, we have 3 tenants who since March stopped paying rent. We've sent notices. We're following all the guidelines. I'm in close contact and on a daily basis with Attorney Driscoll for the federal. And we have 2 families who, as of March, stopped paying their rent.
The governor mandate gave them the safety net to do so. What about Francis and Elizabeth?
No, we're good on both of them. It's
So
just,
we are literally 3 and 2, you said. So enterprise-wide, town-wide, we have 5 tenants or residents or units, more accurately. 5 units not paying rent.
yes.
Out of how many units, Kelly? Refresh me. 250?
173?
273.
Ooh, look at that, Miss McSweeney. I win. So I didn't think it was 273. But 250.
So the towers and the state is together,
That's 2.
yes, 273.
And the moratorium, as you probably know, I'm sure you know, Kelly, was over October 16th. So I'm sure you're doing what you need to do on that end.
But there's another,
Oh, there's
there's a also.
It's through December 31st, right?
Yes, so we have to be very careful. I mean, they know the rules. If there was a program violation, we could file right now and go to court. But since it's rent-wise, we have to wait until December 31st.
But in terms of the overall percentages, we're at 1.8%. So that's much better than the average.
So I was just gonna say, Kathy, Kelly, for what it's worth, 5 out of 273 is 98%. We are literally, like Richard said, less than 2% down. So that's, as a landlord, that's exceptional.
Yeah.
It is exceptional, and thank you for that, but it's frustrating. It is very frustrating to know that I can keep handing them notices and they're like, take me to court.
Kathy, you said the governor's mandate expired?
The state one expired on October 16th, but as Kelly said, there's a federal one. So I only work with the state, so I kind of forgot about the federal run in general.
I do, actually.
Well, Kelly, for my book, 98%, if you're talking 5 tenants, 5 units, because there's probably more than one person in the family units, I'm guessing. So 5 units out of 273, that's exceptional.
It is, in talking to Attorney Driscoll yesterday, because one of these families wanted to add someone onto their lease, and I just wasn't sure if I could deny them. And after speaking with him, he's like, you as the housing authority, we're doing very, very well. He said another housing authority is in over $100,000 in lost revenue. So it made me feel a little bit better, but I would feel so much better if they paid their rent.
Sure.
So what did you do about the non-payer that wanted to add someone to their lease?
We can still, we gave them the paperwork. And we'll see if the person who wants to add this family member on is qualified.
Well, wouldn't it make sense that, is this a state unit or a federal?
Federal.
Okay, well, I just can't imagine that we have to do an accommodation like that where the rent hasn't been paid since March, but that's, I'm not familiar with the particular regulations as Attorney Driscoll is. What about the state units for family housing, though? You should be able to move forward on those.
On one, we've been for a couple of years. We haven't moved on that one yet.
So there's a history and they're using COVID as a lever?
Oh my
They're all using COVID.
Yeah, I know, but in this particular one, it sounds egregious. It sounds like, I didn't realize there was a history.
2 years?
Yes, we had an issue with that one, in a family one,
Okay. All right.
for a couple of years. Stopped paying. Then we got RAF funds and then stopped paying again. New heating system.
I recall. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I could, if these individuals who stop paying their rent, if there was a reason why, meaning they lost a job or medical, we would have that documented and we would be okay with that. All of them are on fixed incomes. None of the money has stopped coming in to their household.
And also my understanding of the moratorium is the rent is still owed. It just didn't have to be paid month to month over the period where the moratorium was in effect. So technically they still owe that rent. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, and it's just, we cannot move forward with court proceedings yet. And plus, right now, the court is so backed up from March's proceedings. So they're taking, as Karen Alice said, regarding another case we called her about, is they're taking certain priorities, housing court, and they want us to go into agreements with these residents first.
I can speak to that a little bit. I sat in a seminar for housing court last week, and they are doing mediation as a first tier via Zoom in an effort to try to resolve some of these things to avoid the backlog in housing court. So it's kind of a, and we do that with conflict resolution a lot. So it's an interesting thing. Maybe you can come to an agreement and then everyone gets to keep their house and everyone gets paid. Anything else on that?
No, ma'am.
All right, then moving on to the vacancy report.
Nothing at Francis Gardens and Elizabeth Gardens
Was-
pending.
Yep, the one you talked about with the allergies.
Yes. So no vacancies, Francis, Elizabeth Gardens. We had one vacancy. The applicant declined due to medical documented allergies, and right now we're undergoing CHAMP, and they're priority number 4, so they're from Marlboro, and it's not a Shrewsbury resident. But we will be getting 2 more apartments at the end of this month for state.
At Elizabeth or the Towers, or Elizabeth or Francis?
Francis,
You know that. Are they moves?
long-term care facilities.
All right, so it's all,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
And nothing at the Towers either?
No, nothing at the towers right now, but we will be getting 2 apartments at the end of this month. 2 more going into long-term care facilities.
Okay, moving on to the Section 8 program. We're at capacity there also. Nice work, Kelly.
Thank you.
And then our social services report. I know this is something that really falls more into your area or ours, but is there anything we need to know here?
No, Shirley, services provided were 31.
Up a little bit.
Okay. Any comments or questions on that? All right, then our next topic is the low bidder for the new doors at Elizabeth, I believe. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought we were doing door replacements at Francis.
I was
We are-
just gonna say, I thought it was Francis.
Yes, there is a fish project for Francis, but this one was before Francis.
Is this all the units doors? So like it's 30 doors, or is it just main doors?
It's the main doors.
So how many actual doors?
Hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna go grab that file that I have.
I'm gonna guess, Paul, that it's somewhere 10 and 14.
30 grand. Should be a fair amount of doors.
So it is remove and replace 9 exterior doors, frames, and related hardware in a multi-story residential building.
So 9.
Yes.
So 3 grand a door.
Wow.
That seems high to me, Richard, but only like viscerally, not scientifically.
Well, it's remove and replace. So I mean, when you remove and replace, that's
All right.
I'm assuming the doors that we're putting in are no slouches. So I'm assuming they're probably high quality. I hope they are. What do you know the make of the door, Kelly? Not out of the realm of things, Paul, to see $3,100 for the replacement of a
All right.
entrance door.
That's fine. I mean, that's why I wanted to make sure it was more, that's fine.
What kind of door is that, Kelly?
I don't know.
Okay.
White ones.
But this is the low bid, and I will note that the high bid was 42.2.
I saw that too. Big spread. Well, actually, the high was high, but the low, 28, 32, 34, 36, 36, 37, they were all clustered pretty tight. The heat was just low, and then the high, the last 2 were pretty high. But
Got
so,
9
yeah,
bids.
it seemed-
9 bids so far. I mean, in light of the recommendations of the architect and
and someone did references. I don't know if that was, I couldn't tell by the email, but someone made calls and they were spoken highly of. So I'm okay with it.
that was our architect guy that did that. So I'd make a motion that we would accept the,
Is that a motion?
yes.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Is there any further discussion? Then I will do a roll call vote. Mr. Campanello,
Aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Aye.
Ms. Vidgeon,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye. Motion carries. Is there any other new business we should discuss tonight?
Yes, something came across my desk this morning. Kathy?
Go right ahead.
Can you refresh my recollection on this?
Yes, there was something in the that Ms. Bergeron sent out today, something new, suggestions that we put a policy together for space heaters.
Right, and I agree that we should. So what I would suggest is that Kelly reach out to other authorities and see whether they have some model policy that has been suggested or recommended.
So was-
Mr. Chair or Mr. Ricker, am I having deja vu or haven't we had this conversation before?
I don't think we have an actual policy though, do we, Kelly?
So there was a PIC notice that just came out today. Is that what you guys are referring to? Okay, so they're asking us to put something together and they will give us a sample that we can go by.
Will that be on the agenda next month?
Yes, but because that notice just came out today, that public housing notice.
So we'll,
Again, didn't we, either I'm crazy or we had it could be 5, 8 years ago about space heaters and using them and not using them or, no, Bueller, anyone? Okay.
I don't remember any policy. I don't remember us agreeing to any policy,
I
at
mean,
least the 5 years I've been on.
yeah,
Okay.
this particular document suggested that we actually set a policy. So,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was a conversation then and not a policy.
so I'm going to suggest that we have it on the agenda next month, Madam Chair, and that hopefully we can move forward in light of the fact that we're going to be in December at that stage.
Mhm.
We're in the heating season now, although the last week you wouldn't know it. But I would also suggest that maybe Kelly post that notice out in the lobbies of the various properties. Because, I mean, people can see that notice and they'll understand that there's going to be a policy and that we don't want them using space heaters for the reasons that are listed in that memo.
Usually when a public housing notice comes out that affects every single resident, we do a notice and we hand deliver, just so residents who say, well, I haven't come down to the lobby, so I couldn't see a notice. We give to each resident.
Okay, so you'll do that here.
Yes.
Ms. Chair, I think I have a old business. I know we took old business out of order, but if we can revisit old business again.
Of course.
We talked last time, and we went offline, though in complete compliance, about a potential Kelly managing the resident commissioner election process. I guess maybe I'd like to hear from Kelly on, I think right when I joined, you guys were chattering about that, but I guess I'd like to hear on the record from Kelly, is that well in hand? Do you have a process? Are you good? I just don't want to leave it fallow.
We are good. So that following day, I sent out a notice to every single resident of Shrewsbury Towers and all the Section 8, because you have to.
This is
No,
federal, right? This is a federal seat, correct?
yes, no one ever responds with Section 8, and no one has. With Shrewsbury Towers, we've already had 5 candidates for the resident commissioner. So they have till November 16th to fill out the form. On November 17th, next Tuesday, we'll hand deliver, basically, a envelope addressed back to the housing authority, along with the residents' names who are running. They will have till the next board meeting to return those envelopes. I want them date stamped. They will be in a box. And I'm asking that those 5 residents who are running, I will do the meeting out in the community room. I will have those 5 residents who are 6 feet apart. And I'm asking for another commissioner who would like to come down and open those envelopes with me.
What's the date?
I think Bruce volunteered though, and I'd be more than let him do it.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I'll come down.
You'll come down,
Bruce,
okay. And
my
then,
question to you, Bruce, you're not seeking re-election, is that correct?
That's correct.
Then I think Bruce is the perfect person to do that. Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah, fine by me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
so the next board meeting would be December 8th, when we open the ballots and find out who the next federal resident commissioner will be.
And
So we'll do that live on the board meeting with Bruce, with you, literally live, well, live remote, but live. So we'll all
Yes.
figure it out and see it together.
Yes. So that board meeting may be a lot longer because depending on
My next comment was gonna be, you need to be prepared with a spreadsheet or a computer or a column or ticks, and you need to be what Sandy Wright does on Tuesday night of election night, and that can be stressful. So I'm not so sure, it's not my call, that you want to do that on a live board meeting. Maybe you do, but there's a lot of pressure involved in going through that process. So,
depending on how many. So if we get 90, see, every single resident responds back. That would be 99 envelopes to open up, and 5 applicants, or, I
so, I
think,
mean, even at, 2 ballots per minute, that's 100 minutes, that's cut that in half, 50 minutes, you're probably talking no less than 30 minutes for a full, but if you get 24 ballots, it can be 20 minutes. So I'll leave it with you. I would just make that a cautionary tale. I don't know if Ms. McSweeney and Ms. Ricker have any thoughts on that as well.
I personally think that she could do it just before the meeting.
That's what I was headed, yeah.
And report the results at the meeting. I would
Take the
recommend,
pressure off of the live meeting, you know what I mean?
because you're gonna have the viewers there anyway, Kelly. We don't really need to watch you do it. My feeling is though that you should, did you already set the deadline for the return of the votes as December 4th or 8th, whatever it is?
I have set it for December 4th at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. So someone can literally walk in at 4 o'clock just before our meeting
Oh.
and drop a vote.
No, the meeting and the deadline's the 4th, right, Kelly?
The
The
meeting is,
deadline is December 4th and our next board meeting is December 8th.
oh, okay, good. Okay.
And just throwing this out there, is this something we might want to maybe do at 3:30 or depending on how many you have? I think we can assess as we know how many are collected after the 4th. But perhaps it is something that should be televised and Shrewsbury Media Connection could televise it directly before our meeting. We'll talk about it. Kelly, you
I
on
I
that
don't know.
for the 4th, once you figure out what you have and what's gonna be best.
Okay.
I think, what does everyone else think about that?
Indifferent, no strong feelings either way.
Me too.
Yep, all right, so we'll see how many we have, because if we have 99, then it could take a really long time. I think it's important, it's, a matter of public record and people can see what's done, that's full transparency. Certainly, with Bruce there, that certainly helps that, but let's assess after the 4th.
Okay.
Thank you for
No.
remembering that, Paul. Is there any other old business or new business?
Old business or new old business?
Any more business?
Good, and I'd make a motion to adjourn therefore.
Before I second your motion, I do think we have,
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
we do have one last minute item to cover, and that is our deep debt of gratitude to Gail Vidget for her 5 years of service to the Shrewsbury Housing Authority. Thank you so much, Gail. I know I speak personally for me. It's been great getting to know you, and we really value all your hard work. Thank you.
We're going to miss you, Gail. We're going to miss you terribly. You've been a great
Thank
member
you.
of the board, and we wish you well.
Don't go.
I already
Thank you.
Take
I
care.
really enjoyed it. I really
tried that, Paul.
Gail,
Bruce,
this is
take
Bruce.
care.
Thanks for your help.
And thank you, Bruce. It was wonderful getting to know you.
You also.
So everybody stay safe. Thank you so much for making this a very enjoyable experience.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our pleasure, Gail.
Miss McSweeney, I will second Mr. Ricker's motion to adjourn.
Okay, with a roll call vote, Mr. Campanello,
Aye.
Mr. Ricker,
Aye.
Mr. Pardee,
Aye.
Kathy McKinney says aye. Gail, it's the very last vote, and you're the very last one.
Aye.
And
There
with
it is.
that, meeting is adjourned. Good job.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Good to thank you again,
Stay
Gail.
safe.
Thank
Stay
you,
safe,
Kathy. It's been
everyone.
great getting to know you.
Yes, you too, Gail.
We'll see you.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Kelly, I'll leave here. For how long are you there? You heading out soon?
If you want to, I mean, it doesn't matter. I can wait. It's up to you.
No, I just have one thing I have to do and then I can get in the car. I just have to make something out. So, and get through, so I probably could leave here in 10 minutes. So I'll be there just a little bit after. Is that too late for you?
Because no one's here tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. It's Veterans Day. So,
Right.
so is it better if I get them now or I come get them Thursday and do it Thursday? What's better for you? I don't want you to hang there any longer than you have to.
I'm thinking Thursday.
That's fine. I have a very, very light day Thursday, so that actually kind of works better for me. So let's
Yeah.
plan on Thursday.
And just text Paul and
Yeah.
let him know,
Okay.
his schedule.
Okay.
Thank you.
You. I'm gonna put on my calendar Thursday checks. But if you don't hear from me, it means I forgot. So,
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Because I can even come and drop them off. You don't even have to. It's up to you.
let's talk Thursday morning. I think, like, I got a dentist appointment. You're like, I don't think I have any meetings Thursday morning, which is, oh, that's not even the wrong calendar. Yeah, but the first appointment I have, is a dentist appointment at 2. So, that might change by the time we get to Thursday, but I'm fairly free in the morning, so I can grab them and sign them and get them to Paul. And then he'll probably have you pick them up from him.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
All right.
Just as long as he doesn't hang on to them for the whole weekend.
Did he do that before?
Well, it was a Tuesday and he held on to him till like Friday because I know his schedule was crazy. But then I have, vendors calling me, where's the check? And your board meeting was this day.
Exactly. All right, well, do you want me to get them now then?
Do you think he's gonna sign them and I can get them?
Yeah, I'd sign them tomorrow and bring them tomorrow. It's not really a holiday for us.
Right. And then I probably can pick them. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But you have to.
Check my email, check my message, mail this one thing out, and then I'll get in the car, hopefully within 10 minutes.
Do you want me to come to your house and drop them off? You always go out. I don't mind doing this for you.
Well, let me just look at what is here. I can come. No, because I'm going to West Boylston after this, so it kind of makes sense. It's almost on the way, so I can do it. I just need to, I just need about 10 minutes to get out of here.
Not a problem.
Okay, because by the time you get here, it'll take you an extra 20 to get home anyway. So, all right, so I'll leave as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye. Thank you.